Among Us. That's literally all I can think about how to move on to this next subject. Yeah, Among Us versus Fall Guys, people. There's no intro, nothing. That's literally how we're starting this episode.
I called it somehow!
Somehow, Nate called it.
We go from this 2 major video games to 2 indie kind of games, basically.
So... This is... Okay. This is a weird feeling I have. Because when they were teasing this episode, I kid you not, when they showed that hilltop, my first thought was the Teletubbies. I'm not even joking. But then I heard the music and then the crown, and I legit went, no way. And Fall Guys versus Among Us. So...
The episode that got put on the Champions poll way back when is finally happening.
So I have a lot to say about these 2 games, because, believe it or not, these games actually have a weird history with 2020.
Yeah.
So, when I first heard of Among Us, it was after not recently, it was 5 years ago when I completed the Henry Stickmin Collection series. Fantastic games. I was actually curious, like, hey, what have these developers been doing while working on Henry Stickmin? Because a lot of Flash games that came around, like Henry Stickmin, I did a whole video talking about like Flash games, and many of the developers have actually gone on to make their own games that they now sell for money on Steam. One of those is, I think they're now known as Sloth Studios. They're the ones that made the Henry Stickmin games, something like that. I was actually curious what other games they made. Whenever I play a developer's game, I'm always down to check out what other games they've made. And then I saw Among Us, and I'm like, I swear I've been hearing that a lot lately. And yeah, during 2020, when there was something going around that was kind of ruining lives, people were stuck indoors all day, and they just found this game, whether it was on mobile, which was free at the time. I think it is actually still free on mobiles.
Yeah.
Annoyingly, it's not available on Mac, yet it's a thing on iPhone and iPad, which makes no sense.
Yeah, you definitely
because of Mac's licensing rules. You have to pay an insane fee to get your games on Mac.
Oh, really? I didn't actually know that. I just assumed Mac just couldn't handle the power.
It was something I learned from Pirate Software, and that's why a lot of games don't go to Mac. It's because fees are stupid.
And I suppose
as well as like the licensing.
Yeah, I suppose that makes sense. Licensing is a bitch. Now, here's the thing. Among Us came out a while before 2020. It just wasn't popular enough, because you got to think it was competing with games like Fortnite, Call of Duty, and even Halo and Overwatch. Still really popular multiplayer games. It was just that when this started trending, people jumped onto it and they discovered, this game's actually kind of fire. Because Among Us is just that little childlike, multiplayer game. I've played a lot of it, and...
You have?
I have 26 videos, at least depending on when I upload the next few videos at the time of this video. I have a few videos of Among Us up, of us messing around, killing each other, mostly Z-Dog, which I always feel bad for, because I feel as though he's met the end of our knives a bit too much.
I have lost track of how many videos I've done of Among Us.
I did not feel bad for Z-Dog the last time I played and he died first, because he voted me out on a 3v3 and lost the game for us. Twice!
Well, mate, let me tell you a phrase my uncle told me.
Mate, why'd you spoil my next video? I hate you.
I mean, this video might not come out until later on, Sean. You don't know. Unless it didn't, then mate, how could you spoil things? I mean, okay, sure, let's be real here. No one really cares who actually wins our Among Us games. People just want to see the funny, stupid things we do in the videos.
Yeah, like Bill trolling lights.
Yeah, okay, to be fair, I've not done that for 3 years now. You can't keep calling me out on that. These guys have last session, these guys were still complaining about me doing the lights. I've not done that for 3 years.
Look, I only brought that up because I've been rewatching all the videos.
Okay, fair enough. I swear someone did call it up last episode, and I was like, or last video, and I was like, I swear, I didn't do it. See, that's the problem when you're trolling on Among Us, because when you do try and play the game seriously, sadly, your history is going to affect you. Like, you know, I always try and kill Z-Dog first. Then the game session, I don't kill Z-Dog first, and I'm the imposter. They assume he got killed first, and they're like, it must be Billy then. I'm like, no, god damn it, in my head, I'm like, no. For once, I didn't.
No, it got to a point where it was just like, wait, Z-Dog didn't die first. He's still alive. That's sus.
Yeah, it's... But anyway, yeah, the Among Us games are pretty fun. You know, there's been some heated moments. There's people that have gone angry over games, but I still remember the freaking Vanos crew one. I can't remember who it was, but Terrorizer and Moosh Knuckle. I'm still not sure if that name's alright to say these days. Yeah, they had
by Moo now.
Yeah, they had the most heated Among Us argument ever. Like, I've never heard a more angrier Irishman since I saw that Among Us video. And what's even funny is that Nogla and Panda are just laughing as everyone's kicking off at each other. That's kind of how some of our games have gone. Like, the imposter wins, the crew blaming each other, while two of the imposters are just fist bumping like, yeah, we caused that.
Me and Kieran had one game where I got Sean voted off.
Yeah, I feel as though editing some of the Among Us videos have been like some of the most fun that I've ever had to edit, because one, I could just put the goofy screen whenever we just get flung to space. The game modes we've come up with, like hide and seek, guess who, where I've never officially won an episode, and even though it's my game mode. But here's the thing that's weird about the Among Us characters. There is a weird amount of lore behind it. But before we get to the lore, at the same time this game was getting popular, another game was also popular around that time. And my family loved the game ever since I introduced them to it on the Switch. And that is Fall Guys. And I think the best way to sum up Fall Guys is that... Sean, you have Total Wipeout in your country, don't you?
Yeah, no, I have that. I've also played Fall Guys before.
Well, I was confused then. You were like, yeah, no. I was like, wait, you don't? Oh, okay.
If not, I probably would have asked if you ever played Doritos Crash Course on the 360.
That is also a good one to bring up. I'm actually surprised someone else knows about that game.
Oh yeah, me and my friends used to play it all the time.
I had
Also,
no one to
this
play
game
it with.
lives rent-free in my head all the time from Fall Guys.
Yeah, that falling moment is pretty iconic.
Bubble Cliff moment.
So, when Fall Guys also was getting popular, it's basically Total Wipeout but with jelly beans. And that's kind of weird, like, because Among Us, they're not technically jelly beans, but it's just so weird at how, design-wise, they're so similar. And this is unintentional, because Among Us, like, that would be an interesting type of multiplayer game. Oh wait, it already was one. It was.
Don't remind me. I actually pre-ordered that.
You fool of a took. Anyone who understood that reference, you get a high five and you join the Discord server. Yeah, so Fall Guys was like... sadly, it's not similar with Among Us. It's not as popular as it was when it first came out, because unfortunately it was one of those games that got popular when we were all locked indoors. There wasn't a lot of multiplayers to play. At the time, you had to actually pay for Fall Guys. Then after, I think, a few months, they made it free, which is great. Yes, there's a lot of microtransactions in it, but it's like, it's free to play. So it's like, you know...
Yeah, what free game doesn't have those?
Yeah, like, Multiverses has it, Overwatch has microtransactions. It's like, look, sometimes free games need to find a way to still make money, because you've got to pay actors.
Yeah, the developers have...
Yeah, and
developers have got to make money off of it somehow.
Yeah. Now, of course, as much as I like multiverses, god damn it, their microtransactions are abysmal. Fall Guys, I feel as though it's a good balance. Like, you can just grind and get these free little costumes and stuff like that. Or if you pay a little extra, you can unlock SpongeBob outfits, Among Us, Xenomorphs. Yeah, seriously, the Fall Guys have some crazy outfits. And there was also going to be some Transformers outfits, but it got cancelled because they lost the license for it. I don't know why Hasbro pulled out, but guess they don't like money. But overall, these games are just fun party games, really. Like, you can play with friends, or you can even play on the couch if you want. I can't imagine playing Among Us with a family would be easy to play. It's like I'm just playing on PlayStation and I just hear my mum scream, "God damn it, Bill!" and everyone's like, "It's Bill." It's like,
oh yeah, I got screwed over by that in a game once.
oh, did you?
Yeah, when we were playing with Robusc's sister, and he heard her scream when I killed her.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
Yeah.
That is unfortunate. Also, just kind of want to throw this out there, because we are talking about Among Us. I actually have an Among Us keychain. And I've had this sucker for...
Nice.
I have this sucker for a while because his blue hat is now gone red and his helmet is also gone red. He's just red now, just all red. Yeah, I've had it for a while. He has seen things. But when this episode was announced, like when this was first recommended, like requested, I saw it on the champion poll and I was like, look, some joke episodes, I'm going to say loosely now, I can understand. Homer Simpson versus Peter Griffin, yeah, they have some bit of tune logic behind them. That could be quite fun. I was very happy to learn that apparently Homer is said to win that fight now, which I'm very happy about because Peter doesn't deserve any wins.
Yeah, I hear that's kind of the general consensus, and honestly, from what I remember, I think Peter's more Toon Forcey.
Yeah, well, I've been hearing Homer wins that now, which, hey, if that is the case, I'll be happy for that because, yeah, compared to Peter Griffin, Homer's the better character. I don't like.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, like I should say, first 6 seasons of Family Guy, Peter is hilarious. Onwards, afterwards, yeah. In fact, the entire Griffin family, I just don't like. They're just horrible. The only one I could say I do like is Chris. Sometimes. But
Sorry, I saw a photo of it recently. Because you brought up Chris, I'm remembering that Red Bull episode.
I remember a Peter Griffin episode of Red Bull. I don't remember a Chris one.
No, he gives him a bunch of Red Bull, and then he goes to milk a cow and sets its udders on fire from the friction.
Yeah, I remember that. Jesus Christ. Yeah, but when this episode was requested, I was like, these guys don't really have anything combat-wise. Then I looked up a bit of Fall Guys, and of course I did know a lot about Among Us feats as well. Wow, these Fall Guys are just wow. That's
but
all...
it's just a show.
Like, okay, so the first
Sorry,
trailer...
that's a Death Battlecast joke.
That has to be referenced at some point.
That does.
I hope it is.
So, okay, when the Fall Guys first dropped their trailers, and this is even confirmed by the developers, yeah, they are actually the size of humans. So, I'm not sure whether they're humans in suits or they are a different type of alien species. I'm sure Fall Guys doesn't have any deep lore like that, but yeah.
It might just be how they are.
Yeah, the Fall Guys are actually the size of humans. It's like, okay, that's cool to know. The developers also confirmed on Twitter, Fall Guys have the strength to tear a human in half. I was like, why? And they said, well, if you're between them and the crown, they will do anything to get the crown. It's like, okay, that's good to know. So we know they're superhuman to an extent. They're strong enough to lift like gold over their head, which, I mean, granted, it's gold the size of a ball, so it's like, okay, it's still impressive they can hold that over their heads and throw it. And in another commercial, one of the Fall Guys got sent into outer space, and once he realised he was about to fall, he fell all the way back down to Earth, hitting the ground, and he just got back up like nothing happened. I was like...
Yeah, you wouldn't think it, but those Fall Guys literally are insanely durable.
Yeah. Even during the gameplay, now that you know that they're the size of humans, even though those things look very rubbery, like the hammers, the axes, to be able to launch them off the ground though, you had to hit them with some crazy force of energy for them to just hit the ground again and just get back up. Because even if you were, like, I guarantee, if we were just playing like any of the Fall Guys courses, and we even had like the safety gear like the guys in Total Wipeout War, those hammers hitting us, we're dead. Like,
probably
we would be dead. Like, we would be mush on those hammers. And we can't even talk about this episode without acknowledging the fan animation concept that came around on Reddit a few years ago.
I might see if I can find that. Give me a minute.
Yeah, which... Okay, yeah, is it very crudely made? A little bit. But, honestly, the Death Battle quality, like, they even reacted to it on their Death Battle cast.
Yeah, it was because of that I thought it was gonna win the poll.
Yeah, I do like it was between the default skin for the Fall Guys and the default skin for the Among Us guy, and the gag for that fight I still love. They do the kill animation, the Among Us guy goes to stab him, it bounces off and he just keeps on trying to rapidly stab him, the Fall Guy just smacks him like so effortlessly, like, oh, it's like smacking him while he's down. Yeah, I love that. And the final image before it cut to coming soon. Yeah, it was it was actually pretty good for like a crudely made fan animation. And funny enough, that guy got brought on to work on the official episode now.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
That is insane. And from the little teaser we did see in the next time previews, it's looking pretty good. I think it is sprite animation. There's gonna probably be some hand-drawn elements mixed in though.
Yeah.
Most probably. Also, I just found it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll put it
that,
on screen for people to see.
That segment at the next time part was one of the shots that Larry animated. He confirmed that on his Twitter page.
Do you know what? When that was actually, as much as I was excited watching reactions to the fight Bowser and Eggman, I was also so looking forward to seeing all you guys and everyone else's reaction to the next time. The moment that episode finished, I was like, what's Mate and Sean's reaction going to be like? What's Proboscis and Z-Dog's reaction going to be like? Like, that was all that was going through my head, and I eagerly awaited when you guys uploaded the videos.
It was unexpected.
But welcome.
Well, you say that. I did bring up that message in my reaction where it was just like, watch the next time be all Fall Guys vs Among Us. Like, the day before. Lo and behold, it was the next episode. Okay, so if we're talking like how, I guess, tough these two are, I remember it has been said by the developers that the imposter survives the end of every game, like, despite whatever happens, including the reactor meltdowns.
Well, that's like we talked about earlier, word of God compared to like.
Yeah, but we
lore.
just had that for the Fall Guy.
Yeah, and obviously we can't have the Fall Guys killing humans because it's meant to be a cartoon-like game. However, we do have video of them surviving falls from space. Though.
Yeah. Also, like, the reactor meltdown that like goes off, the thing explodes, the imposter wins.
Yeah. However, I do want to kind of mention though that there is some contradiction to that claim though, which is like why I don't think word of mouth from these guys is as consistent with the Fall Guys ones. The imposters have been killed by a boat being set on fire, from suffocating in outer space, to melting in lava, and falling from the airship from Henry Stickmin, which still has one of the best reactions from me when I saw that death for the first time.
You're wearing oh, there goes Bill, bye!
I love seeing Bill's reaction.
Falling in the kitchen.
Oh,
That's
I
funny. That's funny.
I wish I got to see Bill's face.
Seriously, man, I can't believe that was the death.
It's gonna.
So, now, okay, if the reactor meltdown is like, I don't know, it burns out the life support and all the crewmates suffocate or they starve to death, and the imposter kills them all and eats them up, and it's like, yeah, it's valid.
I mean, the imposter can also survive like O2 malfunctioning, so I think it's believable they can survive space.
Well,
So the imposters are, I will give the imposters this, they are freaking strong as hell. Like, I did that frisbee task on the fungal, and then you just see the frisbee do like a star twinkle, like, it's Team Rocket being blasted off again.
Yeah, it's the thing that's really annoying when it comes to the Among Us, when it comes to feats, is because when you look at trailers or animations, and there is an Among Us TV show that's going to be coming out soon, which I'm still amazed that I actually said those words. But it's kind of like a whole, like, what makes it about, like, when the developers talk about, like, Mario stuff, like, you know, it's basically more like Popeye, like, you know, the cartoons, like, whatever. This is kind of a similar case. For one, gameplay reasons, like, you know, the imposter, if they get found out and voted out, they have to lose. So if they're doing, like, teammates, they have to still be in the game so they can help out the other imposter, which I still regret that I forgot that's what the imposter could do when I was teamed up with Wolf. Sorry about that, Wolf. Yeah, like, the imposters, like, apparently can survive outer space, they can survive explosions, but then it's like, wait, but how is it when you vote out the imposter, they die? And what happens when they fall into lava? When you set a freaking canoe boat on fire, and they come back as ghosts? Like, the gameplay shows they did die, and they come back as ghosts. So,
And they can still, like, interact with things in the physical realm.
yeah.
Which-
Something I did kind of learn, though, why...
I'm wondering how that's going to work, because when the crewmate dies, they can still do their tasks.
Yeah. Gameplay reasons, it's just so you can still play while, you know, everyone else is panicking.
Well, yeah, and of course the ghosts, like, can't interact with the sabotagers.
Except when I die. When I die in Among Us, people celebrate it. But when it's, like, the thing that's interesting, I wonder how they're going to do this, because this is something I found out, which I mentioned to these guys when we had to delay this recording. It turns out the Fall Guys have access to... So, okay, eventually Fall Guys introduced custom games, so people can make their own maps, which I think is cool. I played so many levels that are freaking bullshit. Where it's like the freaking Mario Maker games. It's like precise jumps. I'm just like, why? It's like, why do you do this to us? They are really fun to play, but they're also so frustrating. They're one of those levels where they'll stretch out the checkpoints. And obviously in the game, when there's like 30 people racing to the finish line, there's a lot of frustration. However, story-wise, apparently, the Fall Guys can actually just put things into existence with their little tablets. Now, obviously gameplay-wise, they can't just do that in the gameplay, but in all the trailers, it just shows a Fall Guy just pressing a tablet and just spawning things in the environment. So they could have battlefield advantage over the imposter, but then there's that interesting question: could the imposter just sabotage it?
I mean, it can't sabotage, like, the scientist using vials, which is done on a tablet.
Yeah. So I guess there's limited tech, but that's what's going to be interesting because I can.
Also, again, wait, are there vents in Fall Guys
There
or
is
something
not.
equivalent?
But however, given the fact this fight is going to be set on Skeld, it seems like.
I mean, at least start off there.
Oh, that'd be great if they cause a reactor explosion, the ship crashes into the Fall Guys level,
I'm betting that's gonna happen.
and then everyone else is going to be dead, but then it's going to be default skin Among Us versus a default skin Fall Guy. Whose side are you on, red or pink? Or lightish red?
Sarge or Donut?
Sarge or Donut.
Nice.
Who would actually win that fight? I imagine Donut would win. I mean, he does have the arm. And as he would say, 00 Donut always gets his man.
Future Lights debate. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, Donut also says a lot of things.
He says quite a lot of things.
I definitely think there's a lot of things they can do with this, especially given all the stuff you can do in both Fall Guys and Among Us.
Yeah, there is something I remember. It's like from... I think it was like a crossover ad or something. But, like, one of the crewmates, like, grabs a gun that fires a laser, they spin around, and in the process, they slice a planet in half, which then explodes.
Yeah, I think that was the vampire... I can't remember what it's called. It's like an old school 8-bit vampire-like game that had Among Us in it.
Vampire Survivor, I think it's called.
Yeah, it does. It's not my cup of tea, but I can see why people were addicted to it. But that's actually gonna be an interesting question because that's a crossover though. Will they include it? Because when I saw that, that's when I was like, oh, this could give a match over to Fall Guys. However, I did learn something because I was watching my mum play it last month. Fall Guys are immune to lasers. Because in one of the seasons they did, I don't think they really do seasons anymore. They now just update it with new costumes now and then. So, yeah, you know.
But you're gonna say they had their own crossover stuff.
Well.
Oh
I mean,
no, there is a lot of crossovers. Where do I begin, mate?
Yeah, there was a lot.
Letter. Let me know where to begin.
But well, one, their skin's actually immune to lightsabers because one of their victory dances, they'll throw their lightsaber in the air, they'll start dancing, and it bounces off their head, and they're just like, ow. But one of the stages, like things that can appear, is lasers, and you could be hit directly with that laser, and you just go flying, and you're completely fine. You don't get erased with it. You're literally immune to it. And the developers also confirmed, because when you fall out of a map, people just assumed you died because, you know, it's like elimination. But the developers actually confirmed every Fall Guys that, well, falls is the same one. They just come back. Because apparently it has something to do with the goo, like they could just reappear after touching the goo. I don't know why I don't know why developers feel the need to have some weird explanation for their games. Why can't they just be like, video games?
Where's the fun in that? Also, it's just gonna be really hard to call in general what you want to count for either of these two.
It's interesting, like, my thought process when going into this, because naturally, because I played more Among Us than I did Fall Guys. My instinct was that, well, the Fall Guys can't kill, nor can they fight. The Among Us guys can actually kill people, stab them, shoot them, and thanks to that airship thing where they introduced they can actually fire lasers out of their eyes. Naturally, I just assumed that would just be enough to kill the Fall Guys. The Fall Guys are basically total wipeout people. What can they have? Then I saw those commercials, and which, because there's no official story aside the mangas that came out, yes, there's official Among Us and Fall Guys manga, which is... At this point, does everything just have a manga? Aoni had a manga. Resident Evil has a manga. What doesn't have a manga? Meow. I'm leaving.
I've actually heard that Mario has a pretty overpowered manga.
He does. Do you know what? Now that I've joked about that, I now have to Google
I think it's called Mario Cocoon.
I've joked about it now. Now I have to actually look it up. Is there a SpongeBob manga?
I think I know there was definitely a comic because they showed it in SpongeBob vs. Aquaman.
Yep, there's comics.
Okay, thankfully it's just fan art of like SpongeBob in like manga things, so it's like, okay, there is an official. So I was gonna say, if I made that Gary joke and it is actually official manga of SpongeBob, I'm gonna freak out. But no, it's just comic books.
Yeah, I think with this debate overall, I kind of have an idea who I want to go for.
I mean, personally, I'm not fussed. I love both these games. Fall Guys is that really fun, sit down, and honestly, it's just fun to play.
They're both great.
Among Us.
True story.
No, go ahead.
I actually, Death Battle hosted an event for Fall Guys and Among Us at certain points. I got to play both with the crew at one point or another, which was really cool.
Nice.
Oh, that is really cool. But yeah, like, realistically, are we that fussed who wins? Because, I mean, for Christ's sake, how many Among Us...
I have 0 wins this season, my guy. I have none.
Wait.
No, you went for... Didn't you go for Joker?
I went for Eggman!
Oh my
Wait,
God.
didn't you go for Joker, though?
I swear you went for Joker.
Giorno. I picked Giorno.
Future Bill, show a clip if that is true.
Initially, I wasn't, but as we kept talking about it, yeah, I'm convinced for Giorno. I'm rooting for my boy. Let's go, Giorno.
Yeah, so it's just weird because I'm not saying I hate this episode or matchup. This seems like it's going to be hilarious because there's just more opportunity for slapstick. Because when you look at all the commercials for Among Us and Fall Guys, it's mostly slapstick.
It's gonna be dumb in the best possible way.
Yeah. I just thought about
Yay.
it. What are they gonna do with the imposters' abilities, like the shapeshifter or the phantom and all that stuff?
Leave that to the animators.
But it's kind of interesting because it's like I don't really know who would win because okay, so we know that the Fall Guys are strong enough to tear a human in half. The developers have confirmed that. And if we're going by word of God, then we kind of have to go by word of God for the Among Us guys, unless there's some contradictions which we brought up. The Among Us guys can be killed with bare hands. So we've seen that you can easily snap their necks.
Well, at least the crewmates can.
Yeah. Well, because we don't really know how the imposters can be killed, then they're probably just going to go with like, oh, here's how you can kill a crewmate. Because apparently the crewmates and imposters are like the same species, which is like, how?
I don't know if they are.
Maybe I might be wrong about that. I might, because I tried to look up so many things about these guys. Because surprisingly, there's not a lot of story that goes into these games because developers prioritize gameplay.
I mean, they kind of have to be different species, don't they? Otherwise, like,
Yeah, that's what I thought too. It's like one's
yeah,
an
because that's the whole point. There's an imposter among them.
Yeah. Also very nice. Yeah, so maybe that could have been something I might have seen some Reddit post or fake post, and I didn't bother to go, where's your source? they might have been making it the up.
Nice.
But just by going live, what we see has killed the imposters. Because if you just play solo, then you could have the argument that, okay, you can't kill an imposter because their developers to confirm they come back. Okay. But wait a minute. We see that if there's two imposters, you can kill one by sending it into space. You could make the argument, maybe they hit an asteroid and it squishes them. It's like, okay, that's valid. Oh, but they can be burnt alive, they can be melted with lava. I mean, granted, lava can kill 90% most things. Except for Hayachi, apparently.
It's that hair, man.
Seriously, I still can't believe the developers. I still can't believe the Tekken developers trolled the Tekken community. Like, yeah, he's not coming back. A year later, new DLC. Hayachi comes back. Yeah, we lied. Like, literally, they retweeted their tweet and just went, yeah, we lied.
I mean, it was obviously gonna happen.
Yeah, like, come on. But it's like
It's like what Death Battle said in his episode. At least until he magically comes back in the next game.
which he didn't magically appear. He just walked out of it and he just went, nothing can kill me. Oh Christ. Seriously, Tekken 8. I'm not into Tekken, but Tekken 8 is definitely a wild card of a game. But so we've seen that these imposters can be killed. Thanks if you play co-op. If you couldn't play co-op, which I won't lie, if you couldn't play co-op and the game is where you can have 16 players, now I would never want to be imposter. Because
I actually wonder, like, do we have enough people across the servers that we could play Among Us with 3 imposters?
I mean, that would
Organize it, maybe.
that would help me out a lot, because last session, every time I killed someone, some walked around the corner when I was trying to play seriously. I was legit like, can people please stop coming around the corner?
Damn, the things I miss.
Yeah, like, legit, sure, like, I'll be like, alright, then me and Purple locked in here, Reese just went down, kill you, as soon as the door opens, mate and Reese are just back down. I'm just like, how about you off? Like...
No, that happened, like, last time I was playing, like, one of the last times I was playing. I'm in storage, I walk up to the corridor that's towards communications and shield. I see Kiv running towards shields, and a body just, like, falls over, like, next to him. At the very start of the game, so I report it, and I'm just like, Kier, I'm sorry.
When it comes to, like, the Among Us guys, they have the arsenal, like, they have guns, knives, but for what it seems like, those Fall Guys just can't be killed. Like, you can bash them, you can shoot them, you can blow them up, like, legit, you can blow them up and nothing happens. So, the only thing I could really say is maybe if they do use that Vampire Survivor feat, where they freaking Dragon Ball the planet.
I mean, if the Fall Guy hasn't survived, like, you know, something on that scale, then I could see that as a viable win con.
Yeah.
And it also might depend on who's faster, and I want to point out, when you do asteroids on Skeld, that ship is like moving at faster than light speeds, and you're aiming at asteroids in space.
Yeah. But here's the
I think
interesting
this
thing.
is, again,
But in a similar case,
it's
though,
complicated.
with the Fall Guys, you can actually dodge lasers. There's actually a really difficult official. I want to use official because I feel as though using custom maps is kind of like that player influence, really.
Yeah, it'd be like
so-
using a Mario Maker level.
Right, exactly.
I think
Where you could just have Mario beat like 30 Bowsers. Like, yeah, it's like, no, people, this ain't official. But with the Fall Guys, when you do a certain level, there's one level where you have to just keep dodging lasers, because if you get hit by them, you instantly fall off the map. No, that hasn't happened to me at all. I never kept raging when I was near the end of the level and that freaking laser hit me from behind. No. Seriously, you should hear when my mum gets hit on that level. She says the C word like crazy. But I'll be in my
he
room.
says cock-a-doodle-doo.
Indeed. I'll be on my computer playing Sims 3 that's totally doing such innocent things in the game. And then I'll just hear my mum scream, cock-a-doodle-doo! And I'll just be like, she's playing Fall Guys again, isn't she?
Ernie, I'm scared. My mom is yelling cock-a-doodle-doo.
Bill, pack the bags. We need to go to the safe house again. But there is a level where you have to dodge lasers. So theoretically, could you argue the Fall Guys are on light speed as well? Like that's the thing that's weird, because you could argue that they're both even. Maybe the Fall Guys are also, or the Among Us guys are potentially stronger, because there is like I think it's on the airship. There's a X-ray of what an Among Us guy's endoskeleton looks like. It's just a single bone. I love that. Now, to be able to snap like a bone that big, like let's assume the Among Us guys are also human size. We don't know the official size for these guys. For all we know, they
I think they're like 3 foot something.
Oh, really? I thought they were like maybe Kirby size.
In the medbay scan, it shows their height.
Oh yeah, it does. It does. Okay, so but let's be generous. Let's say they're the size of the Fall Guys as well. Like they're relatively human size, average. Yeah, to be able to snap a bone that big, like that takes a lot of pressure. Like you'd have to be stronger than 10 crocodiles to break that, I reckon. Because that's got to be some thick bone.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I just looked up the medbay scan. The Among Us crewmates and imposter are all 3'6".
So it's like they're clearly big. Oh, the bones, I should say. There's no way I can talk about it without sound converted. Thank goodness Kia's not on. Basically, that part that's inside them,
Oh my.
that very solid
What the-
part of their body. Anything else? I just picture George Takei just like, oh my. But basically, any solid part of that bone that you break has to require a lot of force to break. As far as I've seen with the Fall Guys and physical strength, they're strong enough to like lift solid gold balls over their head and headbutt soccer balls that are pretty massive. I'd imagine if they hit a human, it would kill them. They're also strong enough to hold a grenade and explode in their hand. They're fine. So theoretically, if we assume the anatomy is the same as like crewmates for the imposters, maybe the Fall Guy could snap their bones.
Actually, Bill, you talk about the bone getting snapped. It never gets snapped in the game. It's just sticking out.
No, what I mean is in the animation when the imposter snaps, they had to snap the neck. That's one of the kill animations. Snapping the neck, stabbing them in the back,
Oh yeah.
lasers, or
Oh,
just-
and just like burning it with the laser.
There's
Yeah.
also the whole argument that it's been mean the hell and back. It's why the Among Us guys won Death Battle Cast in the first place. Is Fall Guys a game show? Because if it is, then you can't take any of the Fall Guys stuff seriously.
But then
Yeah.
you could also make the argument that Among Us is just a video game in the universe.
Yeah, that's actually been shown in the manga series that there is actually no imposters. It's a video game that they just
That's
play
it.
while they're on a spaceship. So it's like,
That's why I'm pointing this out, because it's like you could do that, but by that logic, you have to thing for Among Us too, so it gets even more of a mess.
Can that be like in their advantages and disadvantages, no matter who wins? Just negative for Among Us, it's just a video game, brackets in universe. For Fall Guys, minus, it's just a show.
Yeah, well, here's actually my argument for that, though. Okay, so let's say the Fall Guys is just a show. They're still being hit by these obstacles, which, now that we know that they're the size of humans, these hammers are strong enough to send you flying in the air.
How much does a Fall Guy weigh, though?
That is a good question. That's not been confirmed by developers.
Because if they're light enough, then it's not
Yeah,
it's not hard to buy.
But they gotta be strong enough to be able to lift like solid gold over their head, and being able to headbutt a football that's 30 times bigger than a human, and strong enough to survive a grenade exploding in their face. Like,
I guess, but then if we went by that logic, then Kirby shouldn't be able to do anything.
that is also true. See, that's the thing that's confusing. While some things have been confirmed and shown, we just really don't know the full combat capabilities. To be fair, even for Among Us, the imposters don't fight. They're like D&D rogues. They stab and run away. Or in my case, I stab someone and some comes around the corner and calls me out. No, I'm not bitter about the last session. No. Also, if these videos come out before the Among Us videos, be sure to check them out when they're out. Or if they're out now, be sure to check them out while they're out.
Also, check out all the other games. Even if you've watched them already, rewatch them.
Yeah, they're perhaps the most fun videos I've had to edit. Except when I'm raging. And trust me, I rage. I feel when it comes to games I've played on my channel, Among Us has me at my most ragiest moments.
I mean, I've raged stuff too, like when I was rewatching this clip when Proboscis was like trying to say that I'm the imposter when I wasn't, and I'm even throwing out evidence that says it. Well, no, I didn't even get a chance to speak. He kept talking over me, never giving me a chance, and I'm just like, nope, I give up. Yeah, you know what? Vote me out. Let's see how dumb Proboscis is.
Hey, to be fair, I had a solid reason to vote you out. I was the imposter that game.
You bitch.
People, this is why British people should never play Among Us. We are just angry people, alright?
Oh no, you weren't angry anytime Wolf gets screwed over.
Oh Christ. I feel like most of my videos the next few sessions are just gonna be Wolf raging.
Like, I know they're not up anymore, but I vividly remember one of his VODs from when he streamed us playing. Like, he tried to get me to watch him do medbay scan. I killed him on it, and it just goes from like, mate, come here, watch me. Oh, you dick!
Oh my god.
Oh,
There
you
was also
bastard!
Is that not on
There was also the
YouTube
time that
anymore?
he was yelling at.
No, it's not,
There was a
and
time
it actually upsets me because that was hilarious.
Oh, I
There
remember
was
that.
the time that he got very angry at Ethan because they lost the game because they voted Wolf out.
Oh god. No, I think
That was Angry Wolf and
I feel
Angry
like
Kira hilarious.
I feel like a good chunk of this discussion is just us reminiscing about when we've played.
it really is. It really is. We need to play Fall Guys after this death battle because I feel like all three of us will have fun with that.
I remember in
Hopefully.
Proboscis' server, we talked about it. Like, we would do Among Us one week, then Fall Guys the following week. We're nearing the end of the week. No one said anything about playing Fall Guys.
God damn it.
And maybe they're just waiting for the Fall Guys preview to come out. I don't know. You can never check on that.
Yeah, maybe.
While we're all bringing up fun memories, the most fun memory I have from one of Sean's videos was when we were playing hide and seek, and Sean was like, "I bet I'm the first person to die." You don't see me die from his perspective, but you just hear me go, "No!"
That's on the most famous scream ever.
Yeah. Oh, Bill. I brought up trolling earlier. What about the time you wrote me in on it?
Wait, what?
Yeah, you wanted me to kill someone and then you stay with the body.
Oh god. Yeah.
I accidentally end up killing you right in front of Sean.
You got me.
And the fact I got away with that is still one of the best things ever.
I can't remember if you won or lost that episode.
I won.
Oh, you did. Yes, you did. And I'm the cheering you on because it's like he deserved that win. We f***ed the joke, and yet it ended in his victory. Oh my god. See, that's what I'm talking about. When it comes to these two games, these games have like fond memories of just funny moments. And I guess we'll give our final thoughts on all the things we brought up for these. Most of it is just us trying to just find something that, like, I feel as though from everything we gathered, the Fall Guys are just completely indestructible. The only thing I could really say that Mate even mentioned with that whole, if we use the trailer of the Among Us guys in that crossover blowing up the planet, wouldn't that also kill the imposter though? Because from the gameplay we've seen, imposters can't survive in outer space for long. We don't know how long it takes for them to die in space. But
I mean, the trailer shows like, well, an imposter or crewmate in space.
Yeah.
So it's a hard one, definitely. But I have my mind made up.
Yeah. My conclusion: I feel as though the Among Us guys have the arsenal. They just don't have anything else. I don't want to say this as a stomp, because the Fall Guys, I can't. The only way I think they could kill the imposter is just crushing them or just tearing them in half, which we know they're strong enough to do. So I guess
that would actually be a fitting death for the imposter, to be honest.
Yeah. So I guess I'm giving it to the Fall Guys because theoretically the Among Us guys have the bigger arsenal. From all the gameplay I've seen of Fall Guys, all their commercials, nothing can kill these guys. And the developers haven't confirmed they're immortal, but they've shown that you can't really kill them. So, mate, who are you going for?
Okay, I'm just gonna say I feel like I will root for Among Us just because, well, I've played it. But the thing is, if the Fall Guys are just too tough and can't really be killed, then it's kind of just a matter of time until they win. Then again, it really hinges on this how tough Death Battle calculate the Fall Guys to be.
Yeah.
Which I don't know, so I guess I'll just put my bet on the Fall Guys. Which, hey, if Among Us wins, then hey, Among Us wins, yay.
Although I feel like the
But
Fall
if Fall
Guys
Guys
fans,
win, I got it right.
I feel as though the Fall Guys would fans would end up saying that was pretty sus for their reasoning.
So I gave it some thought, and the general consent I've heard is Among Us should win this one, but I don't logically see how, because of not just their ability, but also just like if they're gonna take a lot of these crossovers into account, which they probably are going to, it just seems arsenal-wise, so I have it at that point. So I know they're the underdog, and I know I have 0 wins this season, so the lads are probably gonna hate who I'm picking. I'm picking the Fall Guys.
I thought you were about to say, like, I got nothing to lose, I'm going Among Us.
I'm trying to get my first win. I've been set on the Fall Guys since this got announced.
Do you know what? If you're wrong about this one, I think we found an agency name for you for the next James Bond.
Wait, hold on.
Quadruple O.
How many wins do me and Bill have?
That's a good question.
You have 2. Bill has 1.
All right. I'm tempted to say I'm going with Among Us just for the hell of it.
It's a close call either way, I think.
Yeah.
Either I tie, or just win. Like to win 24. You know what? At least I'm not lost. I'm going Among Us.
Oh, you are going Among Us? I thought you were sticking to the Fall Guys.
I got nothing to lose.
Fair enough. Alright then, so either Among Us is going to win or Fall Guys. Personally, I'm just looking forward to a bombastic fight.
That's what I'm looking forward to as well.
Yeah, because...
I mean, based off the preview alone for Among Us, oh boy.
Yeah, I haven't seen the preview for Among Us, which I've heard I need to. Some people have said I should go back to watch the previews after the death battle.
That is a good idea.
From the little teaser we saw in the next time, it looks like it's not just going to be between the one imposter versus a Fall Guy. It seems like there's going to be multiple imposters, multiple Fall Guys.
It looks like it's just playing out like a game of Among Us because they're all in the cafeteria.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how they got there. Like, I don't know, a Fall Guys fall from... Because there is a space station in Fall Guys, so maybe they fall from that and they hit Scout Ship?
Or what if the crewmates are taking them to the space station Fall Guys?
Maybe.
Then the ship malfunctions, so they all have to go off and do their tasks. But there's an imposter among them.
Ah, okay, that could be quite funny. I would also like if they referenced a Henry Stickmin character, Charles, like the Scout Ship's about to crash, and one of the crewmates are like, I got this. And you just see, like, I don't know, a text above them. This is the greatest plan. As they're about to careen into an arena. But I would like a Henry Stickmin.
Would this mean Among Us gets Henry Stickmin scaling?
Very unlikely because they're not part of the same universe. You can collect the Among Us little plushies and complete the mission.
Well, and you can have Henry Stickmin as a pet.
Huh. That is actually...
Also, the
quite true.
airship... Yeah.
I'm very curious now that you mention that. But hey, you know what? Henry Stickmin reference will also be great.
Will they do the distraction dance?
Oh god, can you imagine? I mean, that is actually the Among Us dance in Fortnite. If you have them as your backpack, you can do the default dance. And no, I don't think they're going to give them Fortnite scaling, because they're just backpacks.
Although, that being said, if they did get Fortnite scaling, then yeah, Among Us for the win.
Fair enough.
Found it.
Oh, god damn it. I love this animation. Seriously, how did this not become an emote or something like that?
That's just everyone around with a dead Sea-Dog.
That's
No, if anything, that's around a dead me.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's the black one.
Whoa!
I was gonna say, I was trying to make the joke make sense that we've always had in our Among Us sessions.
Oh god. I'm just picturing that Spider verse meme, you know, when they're like, stop Spider-Man, they're all pointing, and Miguel goes, Miles, the black one! I'm just picturing that's what it is, like, the imposter's your only mate. What? Mate, the black one! That's all
The one with the butt juice on his head.
I saw that thumbnail.
That you thought I censored it. Yeah, you thought I censored that thumbnail.
Nope, he just put the Bella Booty on it.
Yep.
Wait, is this saying, like, Blake's butt is missing? And they're not on the search for it?
No, it's a joke because it's Peach.
I know, I just like to imagine the Ruby cars are like, Blake's butt is missing! Stop everything! We need to look for her butt!
Look, I explained why I did it as the joke, but I thought it was really funny at the time.
Nah, I get it.
It's still pretty funny, I like it. Right, so that's where we're ending this episode. We don't have a third topic because two guys decided, well, I guess they didn't decide, they didn't seem to understand, we were meant to record this before the lads' debate. So, we don't have time for a third topic, but we'll at least announce, typical, when we review this episode the next time, or at least characters they'll tease for next year, that's going to be a live stream, because even though Death Battle aren't doing seasons anymore, we still keep tradition of, like, we'll end the lads' season of Death Battle with a live stream.
Yeah, I think that...
Lads Live is coming back soon!
God damn it.
I think that just means that we will get a next time.
Yeah, we might get it next time, or we might just get teasers of what we might be getting next. Me and Sean were kind of talking about behind the scenes. It could be Gru versus Megamind, or potentially Kratos versus Azura, which, hey...
I think Kratos Astra is probably going to happen before that.
Yeah, probably. So, yeah, you'll be sure to see it live. What would our third topic be? We'll when I get the thumbnail ready for that live stream, it will be teased on there. No, it's not going to be a lads debate. That deserves its own video for the end of the year. And if you want to know what our next lads debate is going to be, why not join us on our Discord or maybe watch the video, please. With all that said and done, thank you all so much for watching, and if you enjoyed what you saw here, be sure to share the video around, keep the channel growing. Farewell, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
So we're voting Sean out, right?
Obviously.
Alright.
Oh no, Sean was ejected.
Ah, shit.